Hey guys, this is April, and I am the owner of Big Blue Dog Soaps, and I just wanted to share with you a couple of tips that I've learned along the way. Bath bombs have been a love-hate relationship for me, and I pretty much gotten the hang of it, and it's just a matter of technique, in my opinion. First of all, I would say find a really good recipe and be consistent in making the recipe. Always, I would weigh it. Everything that you put in, I would weigh it. Make sure you have everything you need with you when you're going to do it, because it's really easy to get caught up in missing stuff, and you sure don't want to be running around and trying to find things, or you miss that one butter, or you miss the fragrance oil, or it's just much easier to have everything in place, and then everything can go together smoothly. If you're lucky enough to have a stand mixer, it makes things so much easier, and it makes your product so much more consistent. Even if you just buy one off of eBay used, or if you can find a good deal somewhere at a yard sale, anything would help. I think that when you really have something to get in there and get every granule mixed together, it really helps make a cohesive bath bomb. And let's see, what else? What else have I learned? I definitely pack tight for a couple of reasons. First of all, the tighter that you pack your bath bombs, it will last much longer in the bathtub, and we want to give our customers the biggest bang for their buck, right? Right. So it's a good value. Second of all, I think that the tighter you pack a bath bomb, the more less it is likely to crack. And when you see the way that I loosen my bath bomb from the mold, you'll see why. So I'm just going to do a few and let you watch me, and maybe you can pick up some tips along the way with the technique or what have you. But I'll just kind of explain things as I go, and then I'll just let you watch me work. Sometimes people just catch on to things watching. That's kind of how I do it. so here we go. And I don't scoop and I don't tap and all that stuff. I've had to make so many. Good Lord, it would take me 2 years to make 500 bath bombs. I don't use a spoon. I don't do any of that nonsense. I just simply don't have time or patience. So I just grab it, push it together. I do not twist, because I think twisting makes it a little more ragged on the finish. So I just push it together fairly tightly, and then I tap. And there we go. And as you can see, it's a nice tight ball, much less likely to crack. And as you can see, the way I tap, I'm not trying to crack an egg. I'm not trying to do it really hard or really fast, just gently enough. You'd be surprised. It doesn't take very much at all to loosen it. So I'll show you again. Just scoop them together. People would probably say I overpack mine, but I don't really care what other people say. I know what works for me. You definitely want your seams to meet. Okay, just gently tap. And you can see it just wants to fall apart. If you tap it good and hard enough. There we go. And like I said, it doesn't take very much at all. and I've done enough of these now over time that, you know, I feel like I can knock a few out, you know, in no time. But like I said, the most, and you know, none of us are perfect, but the quicker you can get them out of the same recipe, the more consistent your bath bombs will be. And I'll tell you why. Because the longer it takes for you to go through a batch and get to the bottom of the recipe, the more likely your oops. And of course, we all aren't perfect. They are fragile, and the mini bombs are, in my opinion, a lot more hard to do. I'm just cranking these out because I've got a charity run to fill, and I've got like lots of these to do. If they don't want to come apart, don't try to force it. Just keep tapping a little bit more. Or give it a gentle squeeze if you have to. But you definitely want your bath bomb to be packed enough to where it takes a little effort to squeeze it shut, because that's going to give you the most strength around the equator. So when you tap it, it's going to be less likely to break and crack in half. And that was what I had more trouble with than anything, is having them crack at the equator. And I use alcohol, the highest percentage alcohol I can find. Usually 91% is what I get. I found it at the dollar store, I found it at Walgreens, I found it at Walmart. You just have to be on the lookout for it. And once I get in my groove, I can crank these out pretty fast. But like I said, you definitely want to try to get through your recipe with some speed, because when you wait and you have to mess around and do them and keep redoing them, well, your recipe's getting drier than it should be, especially if you have colors, because you have to mix those in separately. And that's why I'm having so much trouble right now, is because I'm having to mess around with the colors, and everything seems to dry faster, and it makes your product sticky and more likely to crack. And more than anything, it just takes repetition and persistence and a lot of patience. And I definitely like the steel molds better, because they can take a licking and keep on ticking. The aluminum molds are nice and they're cheap, but as you know, most of the time we get what we pay for. So as much as mine get tapped, I need something that's not going to fall apart on me. Don't get discouraged. I know it's really easy to, but that's the only way you're going to learn, right? It can be extremely frustrating, especially when you've made batch after batch after batch, and it's like, okay, I'm still not getting this right. What am I doing wrong? I would personally find a good consistent recipe, tweak it to make your own, and keep the same recipe. The more you tweak, the more likely it is other problems are going to occur, and you won't be able to keep track of what happened or what's causing the problem. Usually I just make them in the, I keep the recipe in the mixing bowl, because it's just easier and the sides are higher, but I didn't think you guys would be able to see in my mixing bowl. Personally, if you're new to bath bombs or you're trying to get it right and you're having a lot of frustrations, I wouldn't try colors, or you could try a color, but I wouldn't try more than one, because like I said, that leaves you vulnerable. Oh gosh. See what happens? Your fingers get really slick. You just gotta laugh and keep going. You can't get frustrated. Mix your recipe once in a while and make sure it's still nice and moist, or damp, not really moist, but Again, wipe off your equator, pack it in really good. Tap, gently tap around the equator, you'll feel it fall. Sorry, my Roomba started and I had to turn it off so you guys wouldn't get distracted by the noise, because although it's awesome, it's really loud and really annoying. And once you get on a roll, you can really start cranking them out, you guys. Don't let yourself thinking that you can't do them, because I tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. Lord knows I tried. And I got frustrated, and I griped, and I complained, and I talked to groups. You just have to get in there and do it. Fortunately, bath bombs are not quite the same as making soap, where you're spending a ton of money on product, you know, just to have it go ruin. But I certainly hope I've helped you guys a little bit. Lord knows we could all use a helping hand once in a while. And that's my parrot Joe. He's an African gray in the background. And he knows when I'm talking on the camera. And he's mimicking me. So hopefully you guys will get a laugh out of that. Hopefully he's not going to cuss, because that gets to be really embarrassing. Now that's him doing his R2-D2. So I'm just going to keep right on going, and you guys can watch. And oops. And I can tell it's getting just a little bit drier. It's getting harder to work with. That was not going to pack quite good enough. Just give it a little bit more. Like I said, you want it to be good and full, because if you don't, you're going to have dents in the top of it, and it's going to fall apart in like 10 seconds. Pardon me. And we want to do quality work, right? Quality in everything we do. said, I personally, it's not going to be big enough. I personally don't twist. I don't do any of that stuff. Because once you start twisting, it's going to make your surface ragged. It's not going to be nice and smooth like that. Because the friction of the inside of the mold is going to make it ragged looking, if that makes sense. So if you can avoid it, try. Oops. Getting near the end here. The last ones aren't nearly as pretty, but I am certainly not going to waste a thing. I'm not sure that that'll make a whole bath bomb, but I'm going to try it. You see how dry my product is now? It's not nearly as pretty. Maybe I'll keep this one for myself if I can get it to mold. Oh, well, try this the other way. And any product you have left over that you just simply can't make into a bomb, throw some Epsom salts in it and sell it as a fizzy soap. Because it's still a good product. So that's loose enough where I can actually shake it. Okay, that's the last one. And I think I'm just going to press this one into a half mold. And there we go, that's the last one. Stick that there. And I've made a heck of a mess. But I hope you guys have learned something. Hope I've helped you along the way somehow, from little tips and here and there. And Just show you my little bombs here. Aren't they cute? Alright, so anyway, I really appreciate you guys watching, and I come out with videos every couple of weeks on YouTube, and if you like what you see and you would like to see more, you're always welcome to subscribe. And if you have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to write them in the comments, and I'll do my best to, if I don't have the answer, I'm sure I can find the answer for you, lead you in the right direction. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and until next time, hope you guys take care, and happy soaping. Bye guys.